Have you guys noticed how nothing really holds your attention anymore? You open YouTube, you'll scroll for a minute, switch to TikTok, then Instagram, then back to YouTube, and somehow you're still bored? It's not just for phone use either. Like, I can't count how many times I'll turn on my PlayStation, I'll scroll through all of my games for 15 minutes, only to just sit there and stare blankly at the screen before turning it off. Which is pretty crazy to me. Like, I think about back when we were kids, you know? I'm sure a lot of other people could attest to this as well. We used to be able to sit and play a game for hours. Now, in this current day, I can't even get through a loading screen without checking my phone. I'd say most of the time I play these games are only because of my friends and the fact that they're playing them. And, you know, we all kind of want to stay connected with each other since a lot of us don't live in the same areas anymore. And it's just overall easier to stay connected that way. But it's kind of goes more than just that. You know, movies, they feel too long. Videos feel too slow. Even some conversations feel like they just drag. It's just, everything just takes too long. But I don't think it's because we're lazy. I think it's because our brains are constantly searching for like the next hit of stimulation, and it feels like nothing is ever really enough. I also think a lot of the blame has to do with how much short form content has been exploding in the past 6 years. Like, you think about TikTok and how that blew up, and then of course Instagram tried to copy TikTok with the Instagram Reels. Now you got YouTube Shorts. But all of these, you know, TikToks, Shorts, Reels, they changed entertainment as well as our brains. Every swipe kind of feels like a dopamine lottery. You know, maybe the next video will be funny, maybe it'll be shocking or possibly relatable, maybe it'll be some sort of rage bait, maybe it'll be some sort of, you know, crazy headline. And then your brain just gets used to that level of instant gratification, and then your patience gets worse. Like, for example, how many videos and shorts did you swipe through before you got to this video you're watching right now? And how many more swipes through do you think you're going to do after watching my video? Do you even remember half of what you've watched in the past hour, let alone the past day or week? Like, no, you probably don't. We're not retaining this information, all of this short form content slop. Like, I hate to say the word brain rot, but I mean, that's what it is. It's just brain rot bullshit. It's even worse that many parents are putting a screen in front of their kids now instead of actually parenting them. And this is the slop that their children are getting raised on? Like, are we serious? I don't have kids. But in the future, the day that I do have kids, I'm not raising them on YouTube Shorts, you know? I'm not raising them on TikToks. And speaking of which, I think back to when I was a kid, and, well, obviously I was kind of energetic back then. I was able to just be bored sometimes, you know? I'd find ways to entertain myself. Not just with video games, but, you know, I'd go outside, or I'd read magazines or comic books. I'd play music, or, you know, I'd just be imaginative, you know? I'd pick up a stick off the ground that I found and then go on an adventure pretending that I was like Link from Legend of Zelda. I would have my own fun and make up my own shit with my brain and just go out and do it, you know? I didn't have a screen in front of me 24/7. Even when I was playing a lot of games, I still did a lot of other things that normal children did back in the day. Or you think about, like, I don't know how many of you guys grew up with this, but like Nerf gun wars, like that was the shit back in the day. Or you throw a big group of your friends together, you guys grab a bunch of Nerf guns and you guys just go at it. You think about how as adults, they were probably just watching us like shoot little toy guns at each other. But meanwhile, in our heads, we were like storming the fucking beaches of Normandy, dude. We were fucking overthrowing the terrorists, you know, like there was a bomb that was, you know, there was all this crazy shit and we all just like would go with it, you know. It can't just be from us getting older, you know, and us getting like less creative, because that just doesn't make sense to me. What makes more sense to me is the fact that there's so much of this short content crap being spit out at a massive rate. But I remember back then when I was a kid, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was from my dad, and it was that it is okay to be bored. And it's true. Our brains were never meant to process this much information for this fast or this long. So how do we fix this? Well, for starters, in the past year, I've made some massive improvements to stop succumbing to this issue. First off, limit your screen time. I genuinely hate being on my phone as of late, and I value my peace and quiet. You know, I've got notifications blowing up my phone all the time, and people get frustrated when I don't text back immediately or send a snap back immediately. But, you know, I just kind of stopped caring. It just gave me more anxiety and this burnout feeling of being on my phone so much that I'd rather spend that time living in the moment. My next recommendation would be to find quote-unquote boring entertainment. I used to hate reading 10 years ago. Now I make it a goal to read a book every day, either during the day or before bed or both. But it really does help with your attention span and your imagination. At first, it may seem kind of boring because it's not this overstimulating thing like your phone is, but it genuinely will improve this brain rot bullshit that you got going on. Other activities could be playing and learning a new instrument, or going camping, or hiking, going for like a walk, or going fishing. As boring as it may sound, it's actually the most peaceful reset that I can get in my life, and there's just something special about being in nature that just really helps your overall mental health. But overall, I would just say stick with the basics, stick with what we grew up with. And if you're a little bit younger and you're watching this right now, I would recommend the same thing. Think about it. Back many generations ago, they didn't have technology. They didn't have all that stuff, and they still found stimulating things to do that didn't fucking rot your brain. If you guys enjoyed the video and you want to see more, I would hit the subscribe button. I would definitely appreciate it. As well as, leave a comment if you're a little older or younger. Let's try to figure out different ways that you guys find entertainment without having to go through a bunch of YouTube shorts or TikToks. But anyways, stay away from that brain rot, and I will see you guys on the next video.